Here we are going to create redirects from Miva Merchant website to Shopify. So you can, in this example, we're going to use this particular client as an example. If you look at down here in the bottom left, you'll see when I roll over these, you get the different HTML pages. Well, what pages are indexed in Google? So in order to find out, we just head over to Google, ruler of the universe, and we're going to type in site : and we're going to put in g2usa.com. Now when we do that, it's going to tell us how many pages. It says 1040, which is what Google's saying it has in its particular directory, but really in order to get the correct indexing, we have to log into the Search Console. So you're going to head over to search.google.com, log in, and then you're going to see the Search Console. You head over to Pages, and then you're going to see your index, not indexed. There's some issues here, but we're not worried about that. Then you go to View Data about indexed pages. You're going to go ahead and click on that, and it's going to show we actually have 636 pages. And it didn't start getting indexed until recently when we actually added this onto the site, because this particular user has been in business for a while, but nobody ever set up the analytics or the Search Console for them correctly. So now that we're on this page, it's going to show us all these pages, and we can click through them, but we don't need to do that. We're going to select Export, and then it's going to download. You could download a CSV file, an Excel file, or a Google Sheets file, and then we're going to open up that file and then see what we got. So when we open up that file, then we're going to have all of the URLs that are actually in here. So what we need to do is we want to find the URLs. This is a manual way to do this, right? So you could, switch your website over and then run a new sitemap on Google on your Shopify website, and then let Google reindex everything. If it's a brand new website and you're doing this, then you don't really need to do the redirects because it doesn't really matter. But if you have a lot of, more than a few hundred pages listed on Google, you're going to want to go through and create these redirects. So now what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and click on the first product, and it's going to take me to the g3.html. So I've got this g3.html. I'm going to go ahead and find it in my list here. And it's the first one because I clicked on that. And then I'm going to look for this G2 limited edition Mustang brake caliper paint on their Shopify store. So if I go into their Shopify store, now I can just do a quick search over here, make your life a little easier, and then there's my product. So now I've got my product, and look what it does. It gives me the collections, the brake caliper paint products G2. I don't know if I want to get this particular. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Let's just see what happens. So brake caliper paint. So if I go to brake caliper paint, let me just see the difference. Yeah, it is organizing it that way. So we're going to take that URL that we copied here, and you notice it's got all this stuff at the end of it too. So this variant stuff. Now you can copy that too, which is fine, but it's usually best to just copy this information here. So everything before the question mark, and then you just go back into your other document here and you paste it there. So now you've got this new URL that's going to be the redirect, right, for when you create the redirects in Shopify. So say, for instance, I go through, and you're going to click on each of these. So these are all showing product, product, product. Then if I come down here, you're going to see some pages. So here's a contact page. So this is the old contact page. So now what I'll do is I'll go and find the contact page on the Shopify store. So it's right here. And that's the page that we want. So we want to copy that. And then if we go into our, what did I do? Let me see. I don't have that linked up to contact page. All right, so let's see if I did it down here. There we go. There we go. So this is the contact page. Now I'll go back over to my Shopify, my document here, and I'll paste it in here. Now if you notice what I'm doing is I'm pasting these G2USA my Shopify pages in here. Well, what you want to do is have your URL in here. So this would be www.g2usa.com/pages/contact us. So what I usually do is I'll get all the links in here first, and then I'll do a find and replace for these inside the actual Excel document. So I'll do find and replace. So I'll find, go to edit. I'm using Pages in a Mac, but you can go and you go find, and I think it's, so on the Mac here, I would put in g2usa.myshopify.com. Now, if I do that, so I'm going to put in G2USA, so it's going to find everything in the document. See that on the left and on the right? But if I put in .myshopify, right? So now it just found those 2 pages for me. And what I want to change those to is www.g2usa, if I spelled it correctly, G2USA. So now when I do that, I'll just go ahead and replace all, and then I'll move this off my screen. And now look, this is the correct page that it should go to. Now it's not going to work because the domain in this particular instance is not pointed over to Shopify yet. But what we need to do is go ahead and get these redirects in here first. It's usually best to do that. So say for instance I have all of these completed. Okay, I have all my redirects completed. Everything's looking pretty. Then what I do is I log into Shopify. And what Shopify is going to allow me to do, once I get in here, I'm going to go ahead and go into the online store, and then I go to navigation. It's kind of a weird place to have it. But inside navigation, it says View URL Redirects. So you click here, and then what you do is you can create the URL redirect directly, or you can learn more about them by looking at when you click that link, you go to another tab and read about the redirect. So I'll just open that just for the hell of it. So let me just do that. Here we go. And then it's going to tell you all about the redirects. Here's what you do. How do I do it? Open the sales channel, blah, 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 right? And so you can create, and filter them by date. You can read all this stuff. I'm not going to go through this. But you can import them, right, or export them. So I don't have any in there now, but you can use this sample download here. If I click on this sample download, it's going to download a CSV file, and I'll open that file up, and then what that's going to do is give me the correct terminology, right? So if you look at this one, so my old one has URL and then redirect to Shopify. That's my working document. And then on this one, I'm going to use this one. It's redirect from, you see, redirect from, and then redirect to. So if you notice what this did is it puts it in here without all of the information. So why did I go ahead and rename and put the g2usa.com in here if we're going to just be removing everything? Well, once you've go ahead and renamed everything, all you need to do in this other document is get rid of everything, right? So in that case, what I would just do in here is do another find. And I think I took it off my screen. So now what I would do in this case is find https://www.g2usa.com, and that's it. So I'd find all that, and then my replacement would be blank. So I would go here and I would say, okay, I want to replace all with nothing, right? So I'm going to replace that and get rid of all of those. Actually, I'll put in the / so numbers is a little weird. So I'll put a / here, and then I'll put a / here, and then it should let me. I don't know why it's doing that. It's being weird. Huh. My program decided to be stupid. But anyway, I would replace that. You can replace that with a /, and then you replace all. It's not working because it's whatever. I don't know why. But anyway, you replace all those, and then it would just give you the product and then collections, right? So it would give you the actual correct format, which would be this. So then all you need to do is just change the headers. You can copy the headers from this one, redirect from, redirect to, redirect from, redirect to. Okay, redirect. So this would be redirect. And if you don't want to type it, you can, and then to, this one's to, and then to. So now if I look at that, I got redirect from, redirect to. So if I go in here, I'm going to go ahead and do an example and show you this. So here's the product cat 3. I'm going to remove all these. Let me make a duplicate. Okay, so I created a duplicate. I'll work off this one. And I'll just scroll down and I'll delete all this stuff out of here. Just delete all that. This is just for a test, right? So now I've got my one product, my one redirect. I'm going to go ahead and export it as a CSV file. So File, Export. And it's on another screen so you can't see it, sorry. And then it's going to export the CSV file. And it's going to be my Untitled. Oh, there we go. Okay, we'll just call it Untitled. And now we'll go back into Shopify. Let's close this window. And now I'm back at my redirect. So I'm going to import URL redirects. Click on Add File. And now I'll upload my Untitled copy here. And I'll select Upload. If you have a lot of them, it's going to take a while. It's going to show you. So see what it did here? So it gave me this to this. So let's see what happens. One redirect has been added. So let's go to close. And let's go back. And let's view the redirects again. And let's see what it did for me. You notice there I left the domain on there. Okay, so it took it out for me. You see that? So it did take it out for me. So you may not have to do that step. You could leave it in there and omit that last step where you're removing the domain. So if it's going to say you're going to go from here to here, whenever someone tries to look at these now, all these will be in here and they'll forward to the correct places. And that's it. Then you can go on the front of your website and test them out to see if a couple of them work. You can try to go to these, give it a little bit and then, 15, 20, 30 minutes, and then go ahead and, click on those old links and see if you can get to the pages. It may take a little time for it to update. Lastly, once everything's done and your redirects are finished, then you're going to want to connect your domain name. Some people connect their domain first, that's fine. If it's a live store and you're moving over to this is kind of one of the last little things you do. So you go ahead and create the redirects, and you can do them in the beginning. It just doesn't matter. It's always better to do them towards the end when you're about to do the migration and change over. And the last thing you'll do is once you're finished with this, and you point the domain name over to your Shopify store, you're going to want to go to your Shopify site /sitemap.xml. So what would happen then is once I go there and I copy that URL, it's going to go into my Search Console. So inside my Search Console, I don't think I have it open. Let me see. Okay, so here's my Search Console. If you look at this, this user doesn't have a sitemap. So all I would do is put in sitemap.xml, and then I would hit submit. I'm not going to do that now just because the site doesn't have one on the old site. But once I do that, it may give me an error, right? But you're going to want to wait and then refresh it, or just let it go through and reindex itself. It'll check it every day until it starts picking up the URLs. So you can actually come in here. So say, for instance, today I changed my domain name over and I connected it to Shopify. It takes the domain name system and the internet about 24 to 48 hours to pick up that new domain on your website, on your Shopify account. So it's always good to keep the old website live for a few days, a week, whatever, while this is updating. So once you start seeing some of these new pages getting indexed in here, they're going to take over the listings that are on your existing website. Now, the redirects that we made, so all of these, so if someone goes to these URLs now and they get there, they're not going to see, they may still see the old website if their DNS hasn't updated, but once it updates, when they start going to these old URLs that are still populated in Google, they'll now be forwarded to the correct pages, and then Google will actually replace these pages with new pages as it starts to see the redirects. Because the redirects that are created on there are called 301, which are permanent redirects, and then it'll tell Google, hey, that page isn't valid anymore, go ahead and redirect this. Now you want to do this so that you don't lose any of your SEO juice, right? You're going to take a little hit when you go from platform to platform, but if you're already ranking for some keywords and you're trying to put the least amount of impact on your listings, this is the way to do it so that you don't lose any of those indexed pages. Okay. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Go ahead and please like, subscribe. I don't really get on here very often, but when I do, I like to put something that's helpful out for people. Thank you. Have a great day or night.